Hey guys, thanks for joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. Returning listeners, great to have you back. New to the channel, really glad you joined us. Hope you like what you hear. So today we're going to talk about why comfort is killing your potential. So in our society, there's a huge emphasis on comfort, making sure nobody gets offended, making sure nobody has to struggle, making sure nobody has to work hard. And it's killing us. It's killing us as a society. It's killing your potential as a person. And you've got to change that mindset if you want to build a meaningful, purposeful life. Anyone who has built something or gone after something that's important to them has had to be uncomfortable, has had to struggle, has had to scrap, has had to claw, has had to fight to go get it. And that's what we're talking about today. We're going to give you 5 reasons why this is important. We're going to give you examples of what it looks like in real life. We're going to give you data to show that this is a better way to think. And we're going to give you a tip that you can use to incorporate these thought processes into your life starting today. So that's the episode. So comfort feels good in the short term. Sure, who doesn't like to eat a pizza, watch Netflix, have some ice cream, take a nap? All those things have their place. We're not saying that they don't. However, it weakens your resilience, it kills your growth, and it keeps you stuck if that becomes your go-to. And too many of us have allowed that to become our go-to. We know it. That's why we feel lethargic. That's why we feel anxious. That's why we feel restless, because we know we should be taking action and we're not doing it. And what's stopping us from taking action is we don't want to be uncomfortable. And we've got to change that thought processes. Because the more comfortable you become, the more you bury your potential, plain and simple. So you've got to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. So let's jump into it. Let's talk about our 5 reasons. Let's give you your 5 tips. Let's make sure we can change this mindset starting today. Number 1, comfort breeds complacency. Period. End of story. Always does. A 2017 Harvard Business Review study found that employees who avoided challenging tasks reported lower growth and advancement opportunities. Duh. If you don't push yourself, if you don't get better, if you don't put yourself in uncomfortable situations to build new skills and try new things, you're going to stagnate, you're going to drift, you're going to float. That's not where you want to be. Real world example, this looks like someone staying in the same job for 10 years, complaining about the lack of promotion, but never stretching into new roles, never volunteering for new things, never taking optional training, never doing things to make themselves better and develop those new skills. Instead, what this would look like if we had a good mindset and we're willing to embrace being uncomfortable is taking on stretch projects that feel uncomfortable but lead to skill growth. And by the way, recognition. People notice when people go the extra mile. People notice when someone always volunteers to do shit detail. People notice when people volunteer to do the hard work. It gets your name up the list. It gets your name on the marquee. That's what gets people where they want to go. You've got to learn to be uncomfortable if you want to build a life that's important to you. It doesn't have to be in the corporate world. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be an influencer, if you want to be whatever it is you want to be, it's work. There's a reason it's called work. You have to do the work. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Okay. So your action item here this week, you're going to say yes to one task that feels like you can't do it, that feels like it's outside your comfort zone, that makes you nervous, that makes you think, fuck, I don't know if I can get this done or not. You're going to volunteer for that and you're going to take it on. That's your one challenge here. Put yourself in positions where you have to fight and be uncomfortable. It's going to make you a better person. Okay. Number 2, discomfort triggers growth hormesis. Research on hormesis in the Journal of Applied Psychology, published in 2014, shows the body and brain adapt positively to stress when applied in small doses. Things like exercising, things like fasting, things like learning hard subjects that are difficult for us. Okay? So we want to train our body to learn to be in those situations and perform in those situations. I can tell you that when I used to play baseball, it was not uncommon for me to be playing in front of several thousand people, screaming at me, throwing things. I loved that environment, but make no mistake, it's uncomfortable when you're in it. Nobody wants to fail in those situations. There's no hiding from it. There's thousands of people watching what you're doing. And if things don't go well, it's not good. It sucks. I've been on both sides of it. I've been on the side of the team that wins at the end of the game, and I've been on the side of the team that loses at the end of the game. And I was directly involved in a lot of those wins and losses where I was the final person at the plate or the final person on the mound. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot more fun to be on the winning side than the losing side, but being on the losing side is good for you. It sucks when it happens, but you learn from it and you get better from it. So we don't want to avoid things that are hard for us. Don't avoid exercise because it's hard or it makes you tired. Don't avoid learning new subjects because they're hard or difficult to grasp. Don't avoid having conversations because they're going to be challenging and you're not sure how it's going to go. Instead, we want to learn to push through the workout, push through the learning, push through the discomfort of having the hard conversation. And we're going to build physical and mental strength when we do those things. Do it a little bit at a time. If you can barely walk, go out and walk a quarter mile. And then the next week, start walking a half mile. Do it incrementally. If you can only bench press 100 pounds next week, try to bench press 105. Like, keep pushing yourself to stretch those limits. You want discomfort to trigger that growth hormesis. You want to get your body and your mind conditioned to take on hard things because you'll be better at them when you do. So your one action here, choose one small discomfort today, whatever it is. Take a cold shower, do a new workout, do one rep max higher in your workout than you did last week, or take on a hard conversation. Doesn't matter what it is. You're going to choose one thing that's uncomfortable today and you're going to do it. Plain and simple. You're going to make up your mind and you're going to do it. And you're going to be better for it coming out the other side. You're going to start building those situations and build your mind and body to learn to be uncomfortable, right? Get the reps in. It's the reps that get you where you want to be. Number 3, comfort decreases resilience. So that's not where we want to be. 2018 Frontiers in Psychology study found that resilience is built by exposure to manageable adversity, not by avoiding it. And don't get me wrong, you don't want the whole world crashing down on you. You don't want to try to lift 1,000 pounds if you can only lift 100. That's not helpful, but you can push to try to lift 105, 110 as an example, right? So in the real world, what this looks like is we avoid conflict in relationships. Well, that leads to bigger problems down the road. You know when there's a problem with your relationship. You know when you're disconnected with the person that you're with. You know when you're not communicating well. You know those things. You make excuses for it. You hide it under the rug. You avoid those conversations, and that's not where you got to be. I have talked an awesome woman into sticking with me for 30 plus years. And it's not always fun. It's not always easy. There's times where she's had to call me out on my bullshit. There's times where I've had to call her out on her bullshit. But we care about each other, and we care about each other enough that we do those things for each other, and we do them in a constructive, not a destructive way. There's a difference between, hey, you lazy son of a bitch, and it seems like you've really been struggling to find some motivation. Is there anything I can do to help you? Like, those are very different approaches, but the same outcome, the same approach, the same topic that you're covering. So, like I just talked about, the positive approach is addressing those issues directly but constructively and growing stronger as a couple, as a team, as a person, whoever it is that you're working with. You've got to address the challenges, because if you just try to stay comfortable, it's going to decrease your resilience. And then when you need to tap into that well of resilience, when the hard times come, and they're coming, that's life. Hard times will come. I guarantee it. That well is going to be dry, and that's not where you want to be. You got to build that well through the repetitions of daily life being uncomfortable. That's how it works. So identify one challenge you've been avoiding, something that you know is hanging out there and you've been pushing it out of the way, sweeping it under the rug, whatever you want to say. You're avoiding it. You know it's out there and you don't want to take it on. Today, you're going to take your first step towards addressing it. Send the email, send the text, have the conversation, go to the gym, start the walks, whatever it is that you've been avoiding, start it today. You don't have to start it on a grand scale. You just got to do something, because comfort decreases resilience. That's not what you want to allow to happen. Okay. So number 4, comfort numbs purpose. That's not a good thing either. Viktor Frankl, who we've talked about on the show a lot, concentration camp survivor that went on to lead an awesome life despite having faced and seen those horrific things. His research shows that meaning is found in striving towards goals, not in passive comfort. So cruising along, watching Netflix on repeat, eating junk food, not exercising, not getting outside, not having conversations with people. That's going to numb your purpose. That's not going to get you to the life that you want. So, like we just talked about, real world examples, spending evenings binge watching shows, calling it relaxing. I'm relaxing. But you feel restless and unfulfilled. You ever notice that? When you're sitting around on the couch eating ice cream, watching Netflix, you don't feel good. Have you ever noticed that? Like, are you comfortable? Yes. Do you feel good mentally and physically? No, you don't. Be honest with yourself. You know you don't. I know I don't either. I do it sometimes. I'm guilty of it. But if you want to feel good and feel purposeful and feel energized, instead of doing that, use free time to build a side project or learn or invest. Pursue something meaningful. Learn a new language. Read a book you've been meaning to read. Start a garden. Start a hobby. Start a business. Do something with your free time that doesn't involve sitting in front of a screen mindlessly watching it. Okay, so starting today, you're going to take 30 minutes of that time that you were wasting on screen time, and you're going to call it a comfort activity, whatever your comfort activity is. Screen time seems to be a big one. Our phones, our tablets, our computers, our televisions, whatever it is. And you're going to take that 30 minutes a day and you're going to apply it towards something that builds something meaningful in your future. It can be any of those things we talked about. Maybe you start working out. Maybe you put together a nutrition plan. Maybe you start a side business. Maybe you start a hobby. Maybe you start exercising. Doesn't matter what it is. It's active and it's giving you something to work towards. We're going to take 30 minutes a day and we're going to start using it instead of screen time, applying it towards something meaningful and purposeful that'll help us build a better future. Okay. Number 5. This is a big one. Comfort feeds regret. A study in psychological science in 2018 found that people regret inaction, staying comfortable, more than failed attempts, stepping out and giving it a shot. So think about that. People regret not trying way more than they regret trying and failing. And I probably shouldn't use the word failing because it's not a great word, but trying and not getting the outcome that they wanted. So in the real world, what does this look like? Someday I'll start my business. Yeah, okay. When's someday? What day is that? Is it Sunday? Is it Tuesday? Is it next July? When is someday? Someday's not a day. You got to take your shots. Instead, try. Launch it. Try it. If it doesn't work, try something different. Learn from the mistakes. Take the learnings from your efforts and apply them towards something new. And you're going to succeed eventually. In our newsletter that's coming out tomorrow, we love a quote from Larry Bird that says, I have a theory that if you just give 100% all the time, somehow things find a way of working out. And I think that's 100% right. By the way, Larry Bird, pretty good basketball player, pretty successful guy. And he just busted his ass and let things happen after all the effort that he gave. Whatever the outcome was, the outcome was. 3-time MVP, won 3 NBA titles, pretty successful guy. And his whole mantra was just bust your ass, give 100%, see what happens. Pretty good for him, pretty good for you. So today you're going to write down one thing you've been putting off. Make it a dream, make it something big, and take the smallest first step. Have you noticed that all of our tips today are about action? They're about doing something right now. They're about taking control of your life and taking action. That's where you want to be. That's how you learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. That's how you push yourself, and that's going to lead you where you want to go. So comfort's seductive. Like sounds really good to go lay on the couch. Sounds really good to eat junk food and comfort food and not try real hard. But it's a slow death to your potential. It's a slow death to you personally. And that's not where you want to be. So today you're going to choose discomfort. Doesn't have to be everything. Doesn't have to be miserable. But you're going to make yourself or put yourself in uncomfortable situations intentionally over and over and over again, day after day. And that is going to help you grow into the person who you want to be. Might not be immediate, might not notice it happening, but it's called the compound interest of life. And if you do it day after day, over and over again, a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, you're going to look up and go, holy shit, look at all I've accomplished just from trying a little bit every day. Okay. That's the goal. That's what we want to do. That's what we're aiming for. So we've got to learn that comfort kills potential. We're going to learn to be uncomfortable. We're going to use the lessons from being uncomfortable and apply them to future endeavors. And that's what's going to make us successful. Okay. All right, guys, that's the episode. So James puts it up over here every day. Head over to the website, saltygingertalk.com. All our podcast episodes are there. Links to all our social media accounts are there. We've got a newsletter we publish every weekday. You can subscribe to on our website. Like, share, comment, subscribe to the podcast, whatever platform you consume it on. And we're going to keep giving you tips on how to build a meaningful, purposeful life. We're going to keep having people on who talk about their learnings and their what they learned from the hard times in their life and have built successful lives because of their willingness to endure those things and push through. You don't want to miss any of that awesome content. It's going to be great to help you get to where you want to be. Make sure you catch our next episode. We'll see you there.